He's constant. And really, he's the only constant thing that we have. Everything else in our life changes. Even people come in and out of our lives all the time, but He stays there and He's the same. When you go through different years, even in school, you go from middle school to high school to college or military, whatever you do, your surroundings and your situations are constantly changing, but He stays the same.
I've won and I've lost. I got it right sometimes, but sometimes I didn't.
In our lives, we have moments that are beautiful and ones that feel ugly. Sometimes we make choices that have great outcomes, full of joy and laughter, and sometimes we make decisions that lead to pain and regret. I'm reminded of Peter, who not only shared in many joyful moments, but also shared in his fair share of pain. Peter got to spend a great deal of time with Jesus in his inner circle, and for sure, there must have been times of joy and laughter with the Savior of the world. However, Peter experienced times of deep regret as well. The truth is that no matter how close we are to Jesus, no matter how far we are from Jesus, because of sin that is in the world, we are all vulnerable to messing up. None of us are perfect, not even Peter, who was one of Jesus' disciples. Rest assured today that despite choices you may regret and things you may want to change, God is still God through all of this.
Then Jesus told them, "This very night you will all fall away on account of me. For it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will be scattered."
Said unto them that were there, This fellow was also with Jesus of Nazareth. And again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man.
And I think that's something that's so beautiful about Jesus is that, like, he knew Peter was going to do that before he did it because he told him. You know, he knew it was going to happen. Even though he knew what he was going to do, he still forgave him.
Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. But he doesn't change. You know, he will not be moved from who he is. You know.
First time I heard it, it was like, okay, well, God knows that Peter's gonna like I guess shun him 3 times. And sometimes the devil will try to play tricks on you, and he'll be like, well, in my head sometimes it was like, well, God knows you're gonna sin. He knows you're already gonna do this wrong, so you might as well just do it wrong and then say sorry.
Word.
Good. And like that used to play a lot of games in my head, and like sometimes you'll be staring in the face of something wrong, and like you disobey your parents, and it'll be like, well, go ahead and do it wrong, and then, like forgive yourself later, and then you kind of feed into that, and it's now you're just sitting here confused.
The Bible tells us that we win in the end. We're going to be the ones that's going to win. He's going to be the one that's going to suffer. And so I think playing tricks in your mind is a big way Satan gets people now, because even if you are a Christian, if he can't get you to totally go and just backslide and just turn away from God, I think he can play with your head and try to get you just to mess up, or just play in this just a little bit. It's not going to hurt you, or either, you know, get you just so confused and messed up where you feel like, well, I've got my own issues, I can't help anybody else, and then you become so self-absorbed and you don't try to reach out, you know, and help anybody else. And so, yeah, I think that's a good point, because I think a lot of people, even Christians, I know I do, so at times I struggle with Satan lies to me all the time, and it's something I have to take to God. I'm like, okay, I know this is Satan attacking me. God, help me to not listen to the stuff he's telling me. And, you know, just remember, like we've been talking about, like God's the same, that we can run to him and talk to him about this kind of stuff. And he'll bring us out of it like he's brought us out of everything else.
Even though you're broken, you know, torn, you know, you may be shattered or whatever, he uses that to his advantage. He takes you in your brokenness and he molds you and he puts you back together. And he uses you to reach other people in that brokenness, in that mud, in that dirt, in that filth. And that's really cool. That you don't have to have it all together. You know, you don't have to know what you're doing. You don't have to know the answers.